Hi guys, welcome to Witches of the Moon. I'm your Wednesday hostess, Amethyst Moon, and this week's topic is over our favorite New Age pagan books. Now please bear with me, I've been a little bit under the weather the last few days, and it kind of really hasn't gotten any better, it's just kind of there. But this kind of thing always happens to me around the season change. So, like I said, this week's topic is over our favorite New Age books, and I have quite a few here that I wanted to share with you guys. I've got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 books that I want to share with you, and these are the ones that I have more than that in my collection. I don't have a huge collection, but the books that I do have are kind of essentials for me, and I don't want to go through all of them because the video would be far too long. So I just went through and I picked out the 6 best ones to share with you guys. I apologize. I'm sorry. But the first book I wanted to share was one of the very, 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 very first books that I had ever received. And I was about 13 when I got this book. Now, it's not this in particular book. I have shared my original, but I ended up buying a new one to be able to pass down to my daughter if the day ever comes where she starts asking questions. And I know that day will come eventually. So I went ahead and I repurchased it. And it's just a good starter book for somebody that is just starting out, especially if they're a teenager. And the book is Teen Witch by Silver Ravenwolf. This is the original cover. They do have another one that is a different cover now, but this is the original cover. And this is really good because in the first part of the book there is a section called Just for Parents. And if you have a family member, if you're having issues trying to explain what your faith is to your parents, and if you have this book, if they're willing enough to sit down and actually read the first section of the book, it would explain a lot to them. And I think that is why my mom was so open, because after I read it, I immediately had her read it. And I'm not going to go and read it now because it's just far too long. But it basically tells you where the craft came from, why it's different from other religions, and what the basics are, so they understand that there really is no there's no harm in this religion. But yeah, see, it's called Introduction Just for Parents. So if you're a teenager and you're having issues with your parents and you have this book, have them read, if your parents will, have them read the Just for Parents section of the book. It might help a lot. But another reason why I liked this book is for me, there's a lot of people that don't like Silver Ravenwolf. I love her. She was the first witch that I had ever read, obviously, since this was my first book. And I love Silver Ravenwolf. But this book has everything that a new pagan, witch, Wiccan, whatever you want to call yourself. It has everything in this book that a beginner would need. So this is a very, very, very good book to start out with. Another book that I like to read upon is another one from Eileen Holland, and it's called the Wicca Handbook. This is another good one that has information in it. Most of the books that I have, the information is pretty much the same from book to book, but it just has different variations of it. So that's that's how I like to pick and choose when I do different things. So it has the usual stuff in the book, like how to cast a spell, and learning about your correspondences, and all the stuff that you learn in pretty much every book that you would get. It just has a little bit different variation to, because it's a different author, and I like that. And of course it's got some things in here that you wouldn't normally find in any other books. Just little things, you know, like there's actually numerology in this one, so you can learn a little bit about numerology, and there's a little bit of chakra in here, I believe. So you can learn about that. Correspondences, becoming a witch, like the witch's tools and the elements, and casting spells. Here's some contents of the book. And again, this is called The Wiccan Handbook by Eileen Holland. And it's got a section at the very beginning, like an introduction of what's going to go on in the book. And then it's got a little bit of story behind Wicca. So that's another good book. Again, that is the Wicca Handbook by Eileen Holland. The next book I want to share is another book. This one is by Raven Grimassi. And, excuse me. And this one is the Encyclopedia of Wicca and Witchcraft by Raven Grimassi. And this one has anything and everything that you can think of. It's truly a Wicca and Witchcraft encyclopedia. There's little articles on everything in here that you can think of. It's set up like an encyclopedia, but it's all based around Wicca and witchcraft. How to make a broom or besom, the four winds, fairy rings and fairies, and it has different well-known past or past witches that have come before us, and like let's see, this one in here talks about Nicholas R. Mann. I don't know this person, but apparently he was exploring his roots in his native Celtic tradition. So it's got different people in here. It's got authors in here. It has different things on like the olive tree and Ostara and the owl, and it's a really good book if you need to find something fairly quickly. So again, this one is the Encyclopedia of Wicca and Witchcraft by Raven Grimassi. The next three books are the books that I go to all the time. I have these things out almost daily. And the first book I want to show is one that I don't actually see around too much, but I love, love, love this book. And it's called Natural Magic by John Michael Greer. I think I've done a review on this book before on my regular channel. But this one has everything from potions to stones, herbs. That's what I meant to say, not potions. It's got herbs and stones in it. Like, for instance, here's one for garnet. And that's the layout of it. It's got the description and the temperature of the stone, and the astrology and the lore, and if there's any safety issues, with the stone or the herb. It will tell you how it's used medicinally. Yeah, I said it right that time. How it's used medicinally and metaphysically. And that was for garnet, but they also have one, here's one. They also have them for herbs. They have the actual name. Most of them try to have at least a black and white picture. Some don't, but some do. And then it has the, yeah, the other name. I don't know why I can't think of what it is now, but for the herbs, it's basically laid out the same way. Description, temperature, astrology, lore. But with the herbs, most of them have this spot down here by my finger where it will tell you what part of the plants are usually used. And again, this is a really good book. This is an older book. This is a This is a publication from the year 2000, so this is a little bit older book, and not all of the gems and or stones and not all of the herbs are in this book. But I still find this book very, very, very useful. So again, this one's called Natural Magic by John Michael Greer. The next book I want to show you I just recently got, and I am so happy I got this book. And it's the Llewellyn Complete Book of Correspondences. I've done a review, I've done a small review of this book on my other channel, and this is a newer publication from Llewellyn, 2013 actually, so this is a brand new book that just came out recently. And when I do witchcraft, or when I do spell work, or doing any type of crafting, I do tend to use a lot of correspondences. Like if I'm doing something for a goddess, then I will try to match up the herbs with the goddess and the stones of the goddess, so everything is connected in what I make. That's whether it's for me or if it's for my shop that I'm selling. I try to correspond everything so they all match up. Now I know I always say that you go with your intuition. Well, I do most of the time, but as I've been finding out, not everybody believes that you should go with your intuition. So in some of my workings I do go with my intuition, but others I go by a book, and this is normally the book, now that I have it, this has been the book that I have been going to. And it is amazing. It has correspondences for anything and everything you can think of. Owl totems, animal totems, crystals, herbs, trees, days of the week, months of the year, full moon, new moon, intentions. I think the first 60 or 70 pages is nothing but intentions. Love and prosperity and all that good stuff. Then it has a couple of sections over correspondences for our gods and goddesses, and right now I can't think of anything else, but it's full of correspondence ideas, and I'll show you how one is set up. I'll just turn to page here. Like for this one, this is love. Love is like 2 pages. So let's not do love. Well, 3 pages. Okay, well, I'll show you for, okay. So say, here, we'll go to this one. Say you're having nightmares and you want to try to figure out how to get rid of your nightmares. Well, that is considered an intention. So you would pull up nightmares to subdue or end. And then it has every little thing. I can't read this because it's backwards for me right now, but it says like the solar system is the moon, the number is 9, colors, plants, herbs, steel, or, well, metals, steel, gemstones, goddesses, and gods you can call upon to help you get rid of your nightmares. So yeah, it's set up like that. Now, for instance, like the one with the love, I'll go ahead and I'll show you the love. Like I said, love is like 3 pages long. It starts here, right there. Zodiac, solar system, full moons, element, chakra, directions, numbers, tarot, celebrations, which would be Ostara for that one, season, trees, herbs, plants. But then if you have a different type of love thing that you want to do, like attract to love, then it has its own section for attracting love. And those are the correspondences that you could use. Encouraging love, open to love, self-love, true love, and unconditional love. So it just has, and it's really nice. For instance, here's the section on the gods, and it's all set up the same way. Planets, moon phases. It even has a section on correspondences for the Elder Futhark ruins. I thought that was amazing, especially if you're in the group Runes 101. The elements, directions, chakras, numbers, months of the year, like I said. Oh, the archangels are in here as well. Different mythological beasts and beings like elves and fairies and mermaids and so this is one of my favorite books. Love it, love it, love it, and I totally recommend getting this book. It is worth the money. It's not that expensive. It's under 30 bucks. You can actually pick this book up at I picked it up at spellsofmagic.com, and I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so then the last book is my absolute favorite book of all time. I do use this thing almost on a daily basis, just like I use the correspondence book. And as you can tell, it's got all kinds of little strippy thingies on it because I'm constantly using it. And this book is Silver Ravenwolf Solitary Witch. Love this book. This I actually received as a Christmas present from my husband, about 4 or 5 years ago. And I love this book. It's got everything in it. It's got information on the different sabbats. It's got information on sorry, I thought my daughter just got up. It's got like this. It's got a Samhain invocation in it. Magical ideas for Samhain. This is the page that I just opened up. That's kind of cool. Since I'm pretty much done with my my Mabon altar. This side's mine. From the candle over here, that side is mine. The other side from here over is my husband's. He has not done his side yet, so we're not completely finished. Everything up on top up here is both his and I's combined, and that shelf that's over here, that's his. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. It's got other names, because what we call a sabbat might be called something else to a different person. Like, I call Imbo, but some other people call it Candlemas, or Brigantia. So it's got the different variations in here that you can learn about. It's got an invocation for every sabbat, It has a section on here on how to call your corners, and of course you could use exactly what's in here, but I suggest that you go ahead and make it your own, because like I've said before, any book that you get is based off of the beliefs of the author, not yourself. So to make your practice your own, you need to put your own intuition into it. You need to put your own energy into it to make it your own. But it's great. It has energy spells in here for the zodiacs. And it has a little bit of information on different herbs and fruits and vegetables, and a little bit of if you're reading into a section and you're not really sure what it is, most of the sections have their own little glossary that you can go into and look up a word or look up a term and find out what it means. That helps me out a lot because of my issues that I have. It talks about tarot in here, and binding and banishing, and if it's a good idea to do or not to do. How to astral travel, and this just, it's an amazing, amazing book. So again, this is the Ultimate Book of Shadows for the New Generation Solitary Witch by Silver Ravenwolf. Now, those are the books that I wanted to show you. Those are the ones that I usually go through all the time. However, I do have a Kindle. Well, it's actually on my iPad. But I do have a couple of stuff that I get from Amazon. Amazon offers some books for free on Amazon.com. If you go to Amazon.com and look up Kindle store, type in Wicca or Witchcraft, it will show you, and then everything will pop up that'll be available on Kindle and on Amazon. If you go into the filter and you filter the search, and if you filter it to lowest price first, then all the books that are free for your Kindle will show up on top of the list. And you can pick and choose what you are wanting, and you can put it on your Kindle that way. I personally like the feel of an actual book. That's why I'm trying to grow my library. Over the years, I have ended up getting some duplicates, so I am going to be participating in a book swap here real soon. I'm actually drawing names for it tonight over in my group. Oh, another thing I wanted to bring up too is, where am I at? 23 minutes. Another thing I wanted to bring up is, if you have children in the home and they like storytelling and stuff like that, I highly, highly, highly recommend checking out pukapages.com. This is a free, I'm going to call it an e-magazine per se, but they have a Facebook page. You can go check them out. They do a free e-zine. Sorry, thought I heard her again. They do a free e-zine magazine every Sabbat, and it normally comes out the week before the Sabbat. The newest issue just came out for Mabon, and this is an amazing little e-zine that you can print out. They put it into a PDF file, so you can print out the entire magazine. This month's was like 27 pages, but it's so nice because it's based around a little black cat named Puka. and it teaches children in a way that it teaches children in a way that is easy for them to understand, because they're living and they're learning through Puka. And the lady that has been doing this e-zine uses her teaching skills as a way, and her talent as an author, because she makes up stories. She makes up these stories that this kitty cat goes through, and it helps the kids understand what the up-and-coming Sabbat is all about. And I just love that idea. And it's not just stories. There's quite a few volunteers that help out with this magazine, and I know one of them does drawings to include in with each Sabbat's magazine, and they're coloring pages for the kids. And this month's was a pentagram that had different harvest themed things on it, like maple leaves and a squirrel with some acorns and stuff like that. And then that has another section on herbs, and this is just a really cool e-zine, especially for kids. My daughter loves it because it's based around a little kitty cat, and it's just awesome. Like I said, it's pukapages.com. You can look them up online, or you can go to facebook.com/pukapages and check them out there. Like I said, the Maybon issue just came out earlier this week, I think Monday or Tuesday. Might have been last week, maybe Friday. Anyway, it just came out. And they normally come out the week before the Sabbat, so the next one will come out for Samhain, and it'll probably be out the week before Samhain. But yes, highly go check them out. I highly recommend you check them out if you have children in the house. Especially if you don't already know about Puka Pages. So yeah, I think that's everything. So I'm going to go for now, and until next week, blessed be.